Hey y'all, today's video is how to rebuild a Bosch 11264 EVS demo hammer and roto hammer. These photos are of the electrical wiring in case you get stuck. Now I'm not going to go through the whole repair, but I will touch on some parts where I got stuck, and hopefully that'll help someone else.
Best way I found to break this nut loose here on your motor is to use your 13mm ratcheting wrench on it and get it turned to a point where you're right here, and you can use part of that casing. I almost feel like they put it there for that purpose, up against your crank counterweight. Hold on tight. There's several of them that are sold that are similar. You'll see what it looks like in a moment. I'll have it in there, a photo of it. Anyway, they sell a rebuild kit. That's your part numbers. So the kit is this, mostly. That's this part. And then I got the switch as well, because this thing I think will get in numerous issues. So I actually put new brushes in recently, so I'll just have those as backups. And we're gonna put this in there for how it goes. I've spent all day, well, not all day, but several hours, and here's what you got. So the piston assembly attached to the crank, and then you have this first gear pointed that direction because it meshes with the bottom horizontal gear. Down here, right there, is a pinion. Okay, so that meshes there. Then you've got the large collar, and then the small inner. And mixed in between all of these is a very fine washer. It's in the schematic, it calls it out. So I'm gonna pull this off just to show you. There it is. There's our fine washer right on this. It's right there. See that little washer there? It's very important that it go in between the large gear and the smaller internal one. And this sleeve slides over the top of all of them, kind of combining the two is what it does. Okay, that said, we're just going to put this here for now. Here's your assembly. Okay, so you have, this barrel is empty. See down in it? If you can see, it's empty. That little ring way down, the deepest point down in there, that ring stays in. Then you have your new O-ring in your rebuild kit, and the really hard one to get in and out goes in this groove. Here's your assembly and the arrangement. The last washer, or closest, is the notched washer. Then your spring. Then you have this sleeve. Then you have this assembly that, in order to remove, you must take this little C-clip out. That C-clip must be removed. I used snap ring pliers to get it out. Once that comes off, this metal sleeve can slide off. There are 4 pegs inside here. When you drop those out, this black plastic sleeve will slide off, and the internal plunger in there, I'm not going to call it a piston, the plunger comes out, and you put all new rebuild parts on it, including main bushings that are important for the rebuild, and other various gaskets and O-rings on that plunger. Don't cut that short. Get this thing out of here by taking out that C-clip, pull the sleeve off before little pins drop out, clean it all up, get your piston out. Okay, after that is your cup with the 4 holes in it. Then large washer, then this large gasket that looks like we'll call it a crown. It slides up onto the other cup. The other cup has some form of like an asbestos gasket in it. There's actually 2. There's one underneath, a lower deck and an upper deck inside this gasket. It's weird. It looks like asbestos or something. It's like something brake pads would be made of. And then this guy slides in. So here we go. Assembly. Deep down in there is that plunger assembly. Okay, now that we're here, we go with our gears. So I have the gears all together, remember, with that thin washer in there, kind of as just an assembly. If you slide this back out, so it's totally out of the way, you can get that in there, and now look, that pinion's meshing with this gear right here. The pinion on bottom is meshing with that gear. Okay, now we can slide our shaft back in. Fiber. Slide this back in. We can line up on top. Line up our gears for the appropriate groove. Slam that all down in there. If you look very close, you'll see there's a groove there for the dreaded C-clip. One that is no freaking joke. That thing. And just because I'm never above it all, I'm just going to check my schematic, make sure I'm not jumping the gun. Here's that serious C-clip. Thing just doesn't play well with others. Grab it. Oh yeah, look at that. That's what I call a snap ring. Got it right in there. Okay, so then after that comes the black plastic deal. Now there is a little tiny O-ring that goes on there. Skinny O-ring. I don't mean little tiny, but it's skinny. And there's my C-clip and then O-ring in that. And yes, that goes. And then I feel I need to be doing my piston right now. Before I get too far. And now rotate this to the furthest angle to make it easiest for this piston. Okay, this is in, everything functioning the way it should. Now we go here, back here now, at the top. Alright, so here's how it goes. 11264 EVS. Just follow it. Back and forth between these two. I assume it's the switch mechanism of this. Engaging the rotary motion or not. what it does, because when it's going to get a certain point, this guy can slide over the long one. Here, you can slide over. And the assembly here, sorry, monotone, but I'm not here for entertainment. So, this washer, then this, set those keys, these little L keys on them, so that the bottom has to come out through the notch in the basket. Okay, you go through that notch in the basket, fill that space up top. See how they go all the way to the top now. The mechanism works. We go here, washer, and we go here. Right, I can't do that one-handed. Once that's on, we go here. SDS. All right, when you get to this point, stop. Do not put your bolts in. Get your speed control in and fish up this green line. It has to be laced in, and it gets landed, this eyelet lands on that hole up on the casing of the metal housing. Oh, and here's a little trick for that ass. Swivel the motor over a little bit so they'll hold line up for your screwdriver to land your ground. Oh, and here's your wiring. Just so you know, here's how it's oriented. Here's your wiring. Why Bosch didn't put a piece of paint indicating the green and the white, I don't know why I had to do that. But you'd think a company that engineers things such as Bosch has the foresight to realize there's no labels in it anywhere. Rotor hammer and hammer. Switch to roto hammer. I did not get it right the first time. I had to take this cap off one more time and align the plastic linkage. There's a sleeve that goes over the collar that slides and engages the rotation. So you have to put that either in or out and slide the sleeve either in or out so they coordinate. So I got all these parts and gaskets put in, O-rings, all that crap, new brushes. Well, they were already new, so I still have them set, the brushes. But yeah,